my sidekick, Dobby, and it is November, which means it is time for my October wrap-up. Dobby's birthday was yesterday. He's a big boy. He's my age now. We're the same age. We're the same age. Did you know that? I kind of failed again this month, but I got some reading done, so let's talk about that. At the very beginning of the month, I finished the audiobook Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. This is actually a pretty old book, but I hadn't read it. I really enjoyed it. It kind of reminded me of a different book that I had read over the summer, so I didn't rate it because I feel like my rating would have been a little bit skewed because it really reminded me of that other book. I talked more about that one in my September wrap-up because I literally finished it on October 1st. So check out that if you want to know a little bit more about that. Similarly, at the beginning of October, I finished Jane Unlimited by Kristen Cashore. I interviewed her back in June at BookCon, and this was one of the books that I got in my Game Changer set. I was really excited to read this one because it was like multi-genre where you could choose. I didn't love it as much as I was hoping I would. I ended up giving it 4 stars, 3 stars for the story and 1 for creativity because it's definitely different. It is about a girl named Jane who goes to this mysterious house, and at one point she has to choose which way she wants to go based on 5 choices. And each choice she makes brings her to a different story with a slightly different genre. They're all kind of mystery, but there is an espionage one, a art mystery one, a more sci-fi one, a kind of paranormal one, and then I don't remember what the last one was. It was definitely creative. I don't think I'd ever read anything like it in that sense, but it just wasn't for me. I think it would have been really cool. It also was a little too short. I mean, it's a pretty thick book, but because there were 5 almost separate yet interlocking stories in it, I would have liked a little bit more for each one. A little bit of an aftermath or like an overall, this is how they would come back together in the end type of thing. I don't know. But I had a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of things that I just wasn't quite buying. Next up, I read Things I'm Seeing Without You by Peter Bagnani. This is another one that I got in June and I got to interview him. This one is about a girl. She leaves boarding school after the death of her predominantly online boyfriend by suicide. And she's in a very dark place. She goes to live with her father, who plans abnormal funerals. And she ends up getting a message from her deceased boyfriend's account. And that's all I'm really going to say. I do have a book talk for this, so if you want to know a little bit more, or if you have read it and would like to know my thoughts full of spoilers, go check that out. I will link it below, and it will be linked up there. I gave this 4 stars. Not a super strong 4 stars, though. Next up was the first time I ever had an opportunity to read a John Green book when it first came out, because I was not reading his books until the past few years. But I don't know, I think I started reading his books like a year or so after The Fault in Our Stars came out, which was his most recent book. But anyway, I read Turtles All the Way Down this month, and I do have a book talk for it. Go check that out. I gave it 5 stars. It is not my favorite John Green book, but it seems like the most real. And I think that's partly because I know that this one was extremely personal to him, and you can really see that. It's about a girl living with severe OCD and how it kind of takes over her life. It's something that's very important in today's world. I know there's been a lot of talk about mental illness, but there hasn't been a lot of understanding, I guess. This book really gives us an inside peek at what it's like to be living with this every single day. And like all John Green books, it was very real. He didn't sugarcoat things, and I loved this book. It wasn't something I was sitting there fangirling over, but it was just such a strong piece of writing, and it deserves all the praise it gets. 5 stars. Like I said, I do have a book talk for this. You can find the link below or click up there for it. I also listened to the audiobook for Goodbye Days by Jeff Zentner. At one point, because I had started this one while I was still reading Things I'm Seeing Without You, so I was just reading these 2 books, listening to one and reading the other about death at the same time, and it was so depressing. But anyway, the story starts in the aftermath of the death of his 3 best friends, and it actually starts at the last funeral of the 3 of them. And he kind of blames himself for their death because he texted the driver of the car that all 3 of them were in, saying, "Text me back." And when they went to the scene of the accident, they found a half-composed text back to him in response. So he blames himself, some of the other people blame him, and he ends up going with each of the families and having a goodbye day where they kind of spend one last day talking about their loved one that has passed on and doing some of his favorite activities and just talking about some of their favorite things. I would have liked a little bit more of the ending of this one. One part of the story in particular, that if I say anything it will be a spoiler, it didn't go the way I expected it to, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I would have liked a little bit more closure on this one. Not even more closure, because like they gave closure, but I just want a little bit more understanding about what some of the closure that there was meant, if that makes sense. I gave it 4 stars. It was pretty strong. I really did enjoy it, and I definitely think everybody should check it out. Finally, I did not finish, but I started Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. It is the second and I guess final book of the Monsters of Verity duology. I am still reading that one, but I have the first one signed, and I do not have a physical copy of the second one because I was first reading it in ebook form from the library, and I just switched to audiobook because I ran out of time with my ebook. But I'm reading that. So far, it's pretty good. I didn't absolutely love the first one, and there are things I didn't fully remember from it that's confusing me a little bit in this one, but I'm liking it so far. It's interesting. I remember liking the characters in the first one, but I don't know, that's all I got. That is literally all I read in October, which sucks. But now it's November, and I did get some books which I will talk about now. On October 10th, 4 books came out, 5 books came out, a lot of books came out that I've been dying to read. I picked up some of those and one other book. So these are some books that I picked up in October, but I have not had a chance to read yet because I have been reading so slow, it's ridiculous. If There's No Tomorrow by Jennifer Armentrout. Jennifer Armentrout, if you've been watching my videos, you know I've been audiobooking literally all of Jennifer Armentrout's books over the past year. And this is the first physical book I've had of hers. And I'm really excited to read it, especially because I will be seeing Jennifer Armentrout at a Polycon in January, and now I have a book for her to sign. Yay! If I don't absolutely love this one, I might end up buying another one that I did love, because I've loved pretty much all of her books, which means I will love this one too, but I might want more than one. We'll see. But I have this one now. Yay! I also picked up Into the Bright Unknown by Ray Carson. This is the 3rd and I believe final book in the Seer trilogy, and I don't know why I haven't started this yet. Why haven't I started you yet? I know, because the other book went into my library thing before I finished John Green's. I really need to read this. I really need to read this. I love this trilogy. The trilogy is about a girl during the California Gold Rush who has the ability to sense gold, and that causes some issues because that's a power that everybody would want when the entire world is searching for gold. So yeah, a lot has happened. And there's love and adventure. It's awesome. I don't even usually like historical fiction, and I'm kind of obsessed with this series. So yeah, everybody should read it. This is the third one, so don't read this one until you've read the other ones. Okay? Okay. Lastly, I got Ringer by Lauren Oliver. This is the sequel to Replica, and like the first one, it is told from dual perspectives, and I had to pick this one up because I was a little disappointed that when I audiobooked the first one, like I read one story and then the other. So now I can do a switch off with this one, yay! And I'm gonna see Lauren Oliver this weekend, next weekend, whatever, Y'all Fest, yay! Yay, okay. Okay, that is it for books I bought in October. Yeah, so that's it. But I'm gonna talk about November a little bit. So there are only a couple books coming out in November. I'm hopefully going to read some of those, but I am going to spend most of November writing because I am participating in NaNoWriMo this year. It is my second year participating. I won my first year when I was not even planning to because it was my first year teaching, and I was like, oh, I'll just do 25,000, and then I did 50 anyway. Oh well. So far, I am on target to hit the 50,000. We will see what happens. So I'm definitely going to do my Y'all Fest Roundup video this month, and I'm hopefully going to read a little bit this month, but I might not even get through a whole book because I am going to be spending most of my time writing instead of reading. So we'll see if I'm actually able to do any book talks this month. I might do some nano videos, which I think would be pretty cool, but we'll see. Anyway, that is it. I will talk to you next time. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You can subscribe by clicking up here. Follow me on Twitter at ReaderGonnaRead, and I will talk to you next time. Goodbye! Hey, Ellie and Dobby here. Like the video? Come subscribe. Do it right now. Click it.